Welcome back. You're watching Markets at Noon on ET Now. Let's address the numbers for VIP industries. Of course, on the back of the COVID-19 pandemic, the revenues have declined by 45% at 243 crore rupees, as a result of which the company has delivered a loss in the bottom line. Of course, it's narrowed compared to the previous quarters. Mr. Dilip Piramal, the chairman of VIP Industries, now joins us on the show. Thank you so much, sir, for giving us your time today on ET Now. So, sir, tell us that it's of course unsurprising that you have seen that hit to your top line, but are you slowly seeing any sort of recovery? Because in Q3 we had the whole festive season, we had the wedding season as well, which historically has been a strong point for VIP industries. So are you seeing any signs of this weakness now abating and there being a recovery?
Yes, definitely. The situation has been changing, and as you can see from our revenue, that keeping in mind that we are in the worst affected industry, luggage is part of the travel industry. It's dependent mainly on the travel industry, which has been badly affected. So in the first quarter of the current fiscal year, our sales were only 7%, and in the second quarter they were 25%. And now they have reached a stage of 54%. So definitely, if I compare it to the second quarter, it has been more than double. The recovery is more than double. And this trend is continuing. So that is a good sign. Of course, it has been a very difficult year, but it has been much better than what we anticipated at the beginning. Because though we have made losses of over 100 crores in this period, in the 9 months, our cash flow has been pretty good and it's been balanced. In fact, we have not had a negative cash flow. And I think that is something which has been quite remarkable. That happened also because our inventory levels is at its peak on April 1st. Because April to June is our largest quarter, so we have very large stocks that time. And most of them, in these 9 months, that stock has been liquidated to a great extent. And we paid off the creditors. We cut our expenses also quite well. And so all that has come into our aid. And we are ending up, and the cash flow situation is the same. So we don't have any net borrowings. We did borrow about 150 crores in this period.
Got the point. So got the point. Side. Right, Mr. Piramal, we got the point what you're trying to say, that in this tough times you all have managed to make the balance sheet healthier and also gone ahead and reduce the expenses. So as you're saying, you're one of the worst hit industry, of course, because travel is one of the worst hit industry, but it also gets in a lot of opportunity when people want to do storage. They need baggage, new baggage needs are needed. So what sort of opportunity do you see from work from home? What sort of opportunity do you see where people are now only traveling for essential services within the city, which they would not have probably done earlier? So is there any opportunity on that front as well?
Well, so far we have not really got any sort of marked shift in our demand pattern. Of course, the cheaper goods are selling much more, and our margins also are lower because of that. Not only because of that, but also because we are selling at a lower price. We're giving more discounts. And all these new aspects, if they come in, that wouldn't make too much of a difference on our business per se, because we don't have to do much. It's just a change of the sort of intention of the user. Otherwise, the product remains the same. We have a very, very large range. We have probably one of the largest ranges in the world. As a company, we have the largest range in the world. So we will adapt to whatever is required. And more than anything else, in the first quarter of next year, beginning the April to June quarter, not only will travel increase, but the marriage season is also very healthy, and there are many pent-up marriages. And I am told that even if people got married earlier in the COVID regime, they might celebrate the weddings in a bigger manner, in a better manner. So we do hope that the April to June quarter should be good, better, much better. It's very difficult to say how high the demand will come back, but we are prepared for good sales.
So also I just wanted to understand one more thing, that what essentially would happen as far as unorganized market is concerned. So there is a very big unorganized market for the bag space. If you are being such a big organized player, having all the facilities, are still being able to find it tough to get the sales recovery, what sort of opportunity do you see going ahead? Do you expect unorganized market share to reduce substantially, because for some it may not be viable later?
It is very difficult for us to say that, because at the moment so many unexpected things come about. So if that happens, it happens. I mean, we'll get to know that more in retrospect rather than anticipate that. So because the unorganized sector, the small sector, is that way they're very agile and nimble, so they can react quite fast to the situation. But it also depends on the raw material supply. That could be, I'm not sure about that, because we as an organized player have better access to raw material. We can even import it. And that could be a factor in that supply. But I'm not very cognizant with what is happening on their supplies, on the supplies of the unorganized sector.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I think that would be a big plus point, for the organized segment, the ability to be able to procure raw materials, to be able to cater to any kind of demand spurt that one can expect, like you mentioned, Mr. Piramal, going forward. But thank you so much for joining us today on ET Now and just, giving us a sense of what's happening currently and, what can we expect in the future. It's definitely been tough times. The hope is, of course, as the industry, the travel industry revives, so will the ancillary ones.